Welcome everyone. Today is Friday, July 29th. We're here for a Q&A. And yes, I am outside today. It's gorgeous. I don't have a bunch of cards that I'm fiddling with today, so I figured I could be outside. Put my feet in the grass, hang out with my chickens. You'll see them running back and forth behind me, so you get some extra stimulation in today's session. Hello, Bonnie, and hello, Allison. Good morning. Feel free to say hello. I see a lot of familiar faces down there. However, if this is your first time with me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I join you guys from Northern Illinois. I don't know if you can hear. So Shadow, my black chicken, she likes to sing in the morning, so it's really loud on my end. I don't know how loud it is on your end, but good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Doug. First time? Well, welcome. Oh, hi, Jack. Hi, Brenda. Good morning. So today we're here for some questions and answers. Good morning, Joy. Hi, Jennifer. I love seeing you outside. I feel so natural outside. It feels just more Jacqui to be outside. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, my spiritual journey, why I'm here answering questions for you guys, like who the hell am I to be talking to you about this stuff? And then throughout my ramble, if you have any questions, if you have any burning questions right now, throw them in the chat. I'm going to do my best to go back and look at everyone's questions and answer all of them, so if I happen to skip them. Also, my internet's kind of slow here. I bet you can tell from the video, but sometimes the chat gets like super laggy, so bear with me. But at any time, if you have questions, throw them in there. But without further ado, my name's Jacqui Mancuso. A few of the titles I go by now are Reiki Master Teacher, Intuitive Healer, Crystal Reiki Practitioner, Akashic Records Reader, Yoga Instructor, Animal Healer, and a self-studied astrologer. So those are, I don't know, things that I've studied in my life. When it comes to me in particular, I'm a rising Aquarius, and the planet that rules your rising sign is known as your chart ruler. So my chart ruler is Uranus, and Uranus is the weirdo planet. So I like to I consider myself weird. I do what I want to do, right? And as a kid, it was very strange and difficult because when you go through middle school, all you want to do is fit in. But I'm learning now that I was born to stand out, right? So I tried to fit in and I was hiding all of these like weird parts about myself. Then, and I also grew up in a very like Catholic family, and I just knew it wasn't right for me. It didn't resonate with me. At the time, it was like cool to be an atheist, and I had a lot of friends who were atheists, but I always just knew. I always considered myself agnostic. I was like, I don't know. We'll just leave it out there and see what happens. Good morning, Jacqui. So I want to say this was maybe 2012. I was with my dad at a restaurant, and this was the first time that he presented to me, even though he raised us in the Catholic Church, he presented that God doesn't have to be a man in the sky on clouds. You know, it doesn't have to be this figure that they've shown you throughout your life. And he even mentioned himself, he's like, you can believe in the trees if you want. You can believe in the universe if you want. Like anything, any of those things can be your higher power. Grand Rising, Rev. Nice to see you. So that's when it clicked, and I was like, man, like maybe it is the trees that give us life. Like maybe that's the purpose of everything that's going on. My dad was also that first person 10 years ago to let me know that everything is energy. He even pointed to the table that we were sitting at, and he's like, this is vibrating right now. You know, it looks flat and still, but the atoms are vibrating against each other. So everything in this universe has a frequency. So that was the first time where I was like, energy is not religion, is not spirituality. Like, what's going on? This makes no sense. A couple years later, I was living with an unlikely roommate, right? Like, I really want to go back and look at my chart at this time and see what was going on. But an old coworker had moved away, and he was in a really bad place in his life, and he reached out and he asked if he could move in with me and my at-time boyfriend. So I was like, sure, why not? We have an extra bedroom. Come hang out. And this guy, Phil, he was a magical man, and it dropped in my life at the exact right time. He was the first person to introduce me to Reiki. He was level 1 or level 2 Reiki, so he knew what he was doing. He was the first person that I ever met that was using crystals. He would show me how to muscle test with crystals. So he taught me a little thing. Actually, I could teach you guys right now. So if you have a crystal, or really anything in your life that you're curious if it's aligned with your highest good, you can stand up, take whatever it is and hold it close to your heart and ask yourself, close your eyes and say, like, is this serving my highest good? Or is this object meant for me today? And typically, if you're pulled forward, that's a yes. And if you're pushed back, that's a no. So, at the time I was a cigarette smoker, so he put my pack of cigarettes in my hands and he told me to do it, and it was like it threw me back. So that's when I was like, oh, I guess energy is real and we can talk to it, right? Rev, yes, if you put anything under a special microscope, you would see only the energy that mashes up the mass of love to get a hold of one of those microscope. Lots of typos, but I get what you're saying. You put anything under a special microscope, you can only see the energy that makes up the mass. Yeah. I love it. Love it, love it. So I was living with Phil. He's doing all his woo-woo magic stuff, and that's what I thought of it at the time. I knew that he was extremely insightful. He was extremely wise. At the time, I think he was going through his Saturn return, so he was about 30 at that time. And I thought it was, like, for special people. He brought me to my first Reiki session, and it was cool. I was like, all right, I'll see, I'll play along. Didn't really want to dive into it, but it was still interesting to me. At the same time that I was living with Phil, I was working with a guy who was super into astrology. So he and I would talk all the time about, what's your sign? What's my sign? What does that mean? And that's when I started learning how the energies of the signs play with each other. I'm a Taurus, and at the time I was dating a Gemini, and I can clearly see why that didn't work. And then that's when I met my current husband, my forever husband. That's when I met him, and he's a Sagittarius, and just learning how different we are helped me accept how different he is from me, just learning the signs of the archetypes, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So at the same time, right, these things were happening. I was living with Phil, I was working with this astrology guy, and I saw everything as separate. I wasn't really in tune yet that everything connects. So that was in, I don't know, between 2014 and 2017, we'll say. So I kind of just put it in my back pocket, and I would read astrology every once in a while. I'd buy a crystal here and there. But I was really just focusing on the three-dimensional life. I was trying to get my career going. I was finishing college. I established my career in the public school system. I was a PE teacher for a few years, and then 2020 happened, and it was Friday the 13th. It was March 13th when they released the news that we're going to go home for a week while this thing passes. So take your time, whatever. And they told us this on a Friday afternoon, okay? So Friday afternoon, we're trying to explain to the kids, we get an extra week of spring break, which was awesome at the time. And then, as you know, it just unraveled and unraveled and unraveled, and we were home for, 9 months. But at that time is when I recognized, okay, I have a choice. I was so grateful for that time, man, let me tell you. So, like I said, I was a PE teacher, and the public school systems tend to place PE at one of the bottom priorities. So I felt bad for all the other teachers. They had to make up all these lesson plans to teach online and all that stuff. I was over here teaching all of my classes within 1 hour a day. So I had the rest of my day to just relax and unplug and not focus on the stresses of life, and actually take a deep breath and realize, man, this is worth something more than just going to work and making money. And this meaning all of life, not just my job. So my choice was either to live in fear or make the best of all of this time that I had. And myself, so my sun is in the 3rd house. If any of you guys have taken my Astrology 101 course, maybe that will give you some insight into how I process things. But my sun, when I was born, the sun, my vitality comes from third house things, communication, thoughts, ideas. I like to study, right? So I was interested in this astrology stuff, this energy stuff. What does it all mean? So I took like 3 years to just sit on my computer and dig things up and read books that I never thought I would read. So throughout this time, I studied astrology, I studied energy healing, I learned about the chakras. I created a daily meditation practice, tried out a whole bunch of different kinds of meditations. I refined my tarot skills. I learned EFT, which is tapping on the meridian points. I was getting into acupuncture. My acupuncturist was actually the one to suggest starting to learn Reiki, which, thank you, Bonnie. Huge window of opportunity that she opened there. This is when I got really into essential oils, and I started, like, I make all my own stuff. I don't buy cleaning products from the store. It's all natural, and I feel like that kind of stuff plays directly into this spiritual awakening that I was going through. I've been through a few past life regressions. I learned how to read the Akashic records. I practiced affirmations. This is when I learned that I had all of these skills that were always inside of me. I just had the time to be curious about them, right? So if you guys follow me here on Insight Timer, if you follow my oracle readings, I feel like my main message to you all is like, we all have these skills. We all know how to connect to the universe. It's just up to us to find it in ourselves. So all these things that I did led me to understand that it's not separate, right? Like, I was trying to think of an example, but like, everything is connected. Everything is connected. Every single thing. Like, my essential oils hold a vibration. So by inhaling certain essential oils, you're affecting the vibration of yourself. And by playing certain healing frequencies, you're affecting the vibration of yourself. But you're also affecting the vibration of your home and your animals and your plants and the clothes that you're wearing. And everything comes down to energy. It's insane. So all of this was happening. It made me really happy. So I decided to start a business. So about a year ago, I purchased a domain name and I made business cards and I called myself a business. So I started offering Reiki sessions, astrology readings, tarot readings. I still do all of those things. But then when it came time to go back to school last year, it just gave me such a pit in my stomach to want to work for someone else and do something that I didn't necessarily, I don't want to say believe in. I still believe in the kids. I still want to help the kids, but it wasn't my way, So started the business in July, and I quit my career in August, and I just threw it up to the universe, and it was a free fall, and it has been working out very nicely. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why I am talking with you. And I just want to let you know that throughout this entire process, while I love doing my own research, I also took so much time to just observe other spiritual teachers and just listen to their stories, follow their path, listening to their teachings. And I was able to pick up a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have picked up on my own. And I had a million questions, and I still have a million questions. So I am offering my years of research up to you. So whatever questions come up, like, there are no stupid questions. I don't know if that came through correctly in the description of this event. I said there are no dumb questions, not saying like don't you dare ask a dumb question, but yeah, ask literally anything and I will, explain what I know. Rev, does your husband also practice or into some or all of what you do? That's a great question, and in my opinion, that's kind of a loaded question, but not really. So essentially, no. He is complete opposite of spiritual Jacqui. When I met him, he was a drummer in a punk band, a horror punk band nonetheless, so they were singing about dead stuff, wearing makeup. He rides a motorcycle, he's a mechanic, every other word out of his mouth is a swear word. He is not this love and light person that I am, right? However, it's in there. It's in him. He's helping me realize a lot of things about the world, you know. External appearances aren't everything. I have introduced meditation to him, and we've been meditating together just for like 10 minutes in the morning for a couple months, and he's into it. But he was always understanding and accepting of the things that I would say. His sister, so my sister-in-law, is into all this stuff, so like he grew up around it. But really, like, entering myself into this family helped me not be shy about expressing the things that I want to talk about. I would like let out little things like, oh, it's a new moon, and he was just kind of like, oh, okay, cool, what does that mean? So he's interested, he's receptive. Yeah, but he doesn't practice. Like, he doesn't read astrology. He doesn't whatever. But yeah, he's extremely intuitive, and I can't wait until he cracks the code and wakes up. Shared interests, I guess, is the right way of asking. Okay, Rev. Mine supports me 100%, but the same, not practicing. Yeah. Doug, Jacqui, for help? The past 2 years, I have felt the world energy changing and drawing me to meditation and intuition. What can one do to protect my energy as a very sensitive person? Wonderful question, Doug. Everything is intention. And I also kind of feel like that's a cop-out, but when you break anything down, it's just simple. Everything comes to simplicity. The complicated parts of the world have been made up by us in our head, right? Everything just is. We are the ones that decide when something is good or something is bad. As far as protecting yourself, it's as easy as a simple intention. Whenever you feel the energy coming in, and this is going to be different for everyone, but the stereotypical thing that you do is you envision yourself in like a bubble of protected energy, literally setting the intention to the universe that only vibrations higher than love, light, joy, gratitude, compassion, all these feel-good, high vibe words that you can think of, only these energies are allowed into my space. Anything lower than these vibrations will go away, be transmuted into something higher. That is like the first step way that people protect themselves. A thing that I have kind of, it's like my own flavor. So I learned a technique from Pam Gregory. She is a wonderful astrologer, and she has been talking about this heart breath for the last 2 years because, yes, the vibrations on the earth right now are insane. So many people are waking up. So many people are coming back to their spiritual roots. And Pam has been talking about this as far as the planets and moving through the photon belt and all this stuff. She has taught the heart breath. So breathing into the heart as if it were a lung. And, excuse me, and exhaling that love back out to the universe. So I'm taking my spin on Pam Gregory with this bubble of protection, and I breathe into my heart, and then as I exhale, I watch my own heart energy come out to the bubble around me. So that is reminding myself that I am love, that my center is love, and I'm using it as a protective boundary and also to spread it out to the rest of humanity. So any of those, if any of those resonate with you, feel free to use those. Jacqui can relate with the hubby stuff too. Hubby supports me in my spiritual dabbling, tarot crystals, and celebrating moon cycles. That's awesome. It's really nice when you have the support. It could be really difficult if you're in, like if you feel like you're doing this on your own, sometimes you can feel a little nuts, right? I've been there. And I've been there only by choice, and I didn't think it was a choice at the time. So before I started like opening up about all this stuff, before I started talking about it like it's truth, like it really is truth, I felt so alone, but that was just because I thought that I was crazy. But then the more I started talking about it, the more I started finding people who think the same thoughts as I do, because I'm sure the world is full of people like us. They're just afraid to speak up about it. Rev, with you, Jacqui, I felt blessed that he supports it. It was actually what attracted him to me. I like that. I like that. Yes, Rev, I do have chickens, so these are chickens that are running around behind me. There's one of them right there. They're fun to watch. Hello, Wade. Does Reiki training give you tools to process negative energy from being in the world? Yes. So I have taken all of my training from one person, and I have also met other Reiki people who have had training from other people. So while the idea of Reiki is the same, every teacher that you learn from spins their own flavor into it. So I'm trying to think if it's like a Reiki teaching or if it's my Reiki teacher, but how to process negative energy from being in the world. I guess, I don't know, I feel like this is just something that I picked up from everything. It's hard for me, guys, to remember where I picked up certain things. If I like it, I just take it and I put it in my bank. But processing negative energy, you just got to give it back to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is here to support us, to nourish us, to take all of the shit and turn it into positivity. That's kind of like her job. And she does it effortlessly. It's not like we're putting extra strain on her for doing that. Like that's why animals are so in tune, because they don't wear rubber shoes. You know, they're always connecting and releasing their negativity into the earth. So if you feel like you are holding on to negativity, the first thing to do is to choose to release it. I know it sounds so simple, but a lot of us forget that we have choice, right? So something that I recommend people do all the time is just stand with your bare feet in the grass, or if you want to sit down, you can imagine your root chakra at the base of your spine connecting with Mother Earth. But it's all an intention. You can breathe in your own love and you can exhale. Just imagine everything that no longer serves you just dumping down into Mother Earth. You can take it further by grounding yourself. So imagining roots growing down from your root chakra, growing down from your legs, from your feet, connecting, digging all the way down into Mother Earth. And you can exhale to release your negative down and inhale to bring her loving energies up. It's a very powerful release, but it's all about the mindset that you use while you're doing it. So I hope that helps you out, Wade. Bonnie, my North Node is in Taurus in my chart. The North Node did move into Taurus on January 18th of this year. That week I started Insight Timer. Is that related? I mean, of course. I'm curious what house your North Node is in, Bonnie. So for those who have no idea what Bonnie is asking, she's talking about her astrology chart. You can look up your astrology chart anywhere on the internet. Literally type in free astrology chart, and it'll give you a website. You need to know the day that you were born, the time of day to the exact minute if possible, but a 30-minute window is good, and the town where you're born. And that gives you like a blueprint to what the sky looked like as you were being birthed into this incarnation. The North Node, so everyone, when they were born, all of the time, there are things called the nodes of the moon, and they are determined. The science part is where I lack on this, but it has to do with the moon's orbit and the sun's orbit and where they overlap. So the nodes of the moon will shift signs about every 18 months. The North Node and the South Node are always 180 degrees apart, so they're always completely opposite of each other. The South Node represents the karma that you're bringing into the world. So where the South Node was when you were born has to do with the karma you're bringing in. The South Node, like currently, it has to do with the collective karma. So like what is the stuff that we're working with as a collective society right now. The North Node represents where you, quote unquote, need to go in this lifetime. So like what it's pointing, it's kind of like the North Star, like pointing you to your salvation, pointing you to your awakening, pointing you to your enlightenment. That's the word I've been looking for. So Bonnie is saying that the North Node, the transiting North Node right now, came into the same sign where her natal North Node is right at the time that she started Insight Timer. 5th house is the house of Leo, so it's the house of creativity, creating. And creativity, whenever I say that word, my mind always goes to like watercolors and painting, but creativity is literally making something out of nothing. So I know that, Bonnie, this has been a huge transformational time of your life, creating that yoga studio in your house, creating a new meditation practice. Taurus is also the sign of the physical body. So, oh my gosh, your yoga studio, Taurus, boom, that just popped in my head. But yeah, things are absolutely related. And sometimes it's more fun to use astrology in retrospect, to go back to a crazy time in your life and take a look at your natal chart and take a look at the chart of whatever time that crazy event happened, and just look at like, oh wow, well I guess Mars was passing through my 7th house, so I had a lot of energy to give to relationships, and that's why I fought with my partner a lot, you know, that kind of stuff. Astrology is pretty crazy. Hello, Brenda. I have a pretty good collection of crystals, but how can I incorporate them into my daily life to receive more, or to receive their benefits? Wonderful question. There's 2 ways to go about this. Your intuition is always going to be the best way to do any of this, right? Because you are guided 100% of the time by your guides, by the universe, by your higher self. However, before I developed my own intuition as strongly as it is now, I would, just do a little bit of research on crystals and to see which crystals are good for which chakras, are good for bringing about certain things in my life. And if it was a time where I wanted to bring more love into my life, I would take, like rose quartz or any pink crystals or any green crystals that have to do with the heart chakra. Do that little muscle test where you hear in the beginning when I was talking about the muscle test. So you pick up a crystal, put it in your dominant hand, and you can place it on your heart. And you can ask the universe, is this going to serve my highest good? Is this crystal in alignment with my highest good right now? And just let your body feel into energy and pull, right? If it pulls you forward, that's usually a yes. And if it presses you back, that's usually a no. So I used to ask my crystals in the morning, like, do you want to come with me today? And if I got a yes, I'd put them together. Just, you can put them in your bra. That's a thing that ladies do all the time, because I know girls get small pockets on their jeans. You could put them in your purse. You could just carry them with you. A lot of people make crystal jewelry, and I wish I wore more jewelry for that reason. I can't. It bothers me if I have it on. Even my wedding ring, I only wear it when I go out. But I have my ears gauged. This is, oh my gosh, labradorite. So I have labradorite in my ears all of the time. This is like a calming, slows your mental processing. And I have black obsidian in my nose ring also. So I keep crystals near me all of the time. You can, I see Jacqui says that she meditates with hers. You can hold crystals in your hands when you meditate, keeping them in your palms. You do have chakras in your palms, so that'll activate your palm chakras. You can lay them anywhere on your body. So you can do a crystal Reiki meditation, or wow, not even Reiki. You can do a crystal like chakra meditation. So you can lay one crystal on each chakra. And at that point, like, it doesn't really matter what crystals you're using. All of them are good for you. Let me just say that. All crystals are good for you. All of them are going to raise your vibration because they come from Mother Earth, I think I answered all those questions. But when it comes to crystals, again, like I said, use your intuition. I've heard that like skin to crystal contact is clearly going to be the most powerful, but if you have it like over your clothes, like if you're wearing a necklace and it's hanging in front of on top of your clothes, that works. the time that I've heard about crystals is it takes about 20 minutes for it to sync up with your own vibration. But again, everything is intention, so I don't know if I can exactly affirm that time limit. You know what I'm saying? All right, I could talk about crystals all day. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm just going back. Jacqui, I'm very thankful to connect with everyone here online. Otherwise, I would feel alone. I just want more live people. I understand, Jacqui. If you continue to focus on how grateful you are for this online community, the universe will feel your gratitude and it will bring you more people in your live life. If you guys would like to be a part of our spiritual community, it's a group that I have here on Insight Timer. You can find it in my profile. There's a link for the group, our spiritual community. You can interact with some lovely people there. I post updates of my oracle readings there. So if you want to just be a part of our spiritual community, please do so. If you haven't followed me on Insight Timer, feel free to give me a follow so you can see when I post new classes. And always, if you are able to offer any donations, they're always appreciated, never expected. Kara, I have felt the calling to heal. I have Reiki, Akashic Records, hypnotherapy. I do great with myself. I just jumped. When it comes to others, I get overwhelmed in trying to do the right thing, being correct, breaking it down. I get tons of information, trying to decipher what to share or how to go about it. When working with others, I get overwhelmed wanting to be correct and I feel like I get in the way. I'm laughing because I feel the same way sometimes. I often feel that I overshare in my sessions because I get all this stuff, right? And it's hard to know what will resonate with the client, like what's going to resonate with the other person. Just be true to who you are, Kara. Honestly, like if you live life trying to be what you think other people want you to be, you're just going to limit yourself. If you are authentic, right? So that took me a minute to realize that, like, this is who I am. Like, I have a lot of information, so I'm going to throw it out there. If it's too much for that person, we're not a good match. They're going to go work with someone else, and that's fine because that's going to suit their highest good. But it's not my job to figure out what kind of healer they need, if that makes sense. Like, that's on them. So if you're getting all of these messages, if you feel like saying it, like if it feels like it's supposed to come out, let it come out. There's people on this earth who can handle a huge intake of information, and there's people that need it in little chunks. If you're not a good fit, you're not a good fit, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are people here that you are a good fit for. So I hope that answers your question, Kara. But yeah, I totally get it. Jacqui, I go off of my intuition and which ones are calling me. As far as the crystals, yeah, that's beautiful, Jacqui. I do the same thing every day on Insight Timer. I always bring crystals with me, and it's a little bit of like, oh, okay, I know that these are good for intuition. You know, like I always have, I can't even remember what this one is called, but it's literally just like psychic awareness, and I have this with me every day because I'm like, man, just channel some good information through me just to make sure that I don't sound like an idiot. But yeah, other days I just grab, and I don't know why I'm grabbing certain crystals, but the less you question yourself, the easier life is. Just put it simply like that. Lindsay, hello Lindsay. I've been struggling with chronic illness. Can you let me know what ME/CFS is? I'm not sure. For 3 years, and I am extremely desperate for healing. I have tried so many things, physically and spiritually. Can you please suggest ways I can get help from my angels, source, and universe for healing? The simple answer, Lindsay, is to just ask, and I'm sure that that's an extremely frustrating answer because I'm sure that you have asked 100 times and you're not getting the result that you want. Let me tune into this for a second. I'm extremely desperate for healing. I've tried so many things, physically and spiritually. Can you please suggest ways I can get help from my angels? Okay, so what you can do, my favorite thing to do with the universe is to ask for signs. And when you ask for signs, you need to do it in a very specific way. This method comes from E Squared. It's a book by Pam Grout. E Squared, like the math squared, energy squared. When I talk to the universe, the universe vibrates at such a high frequency that time and space doesn't exist the way that we interpret it. So most people will just ask the universe, like, show me a sign, show me the way, and they leave it at that. The universe might show you a sign in 25 years. That's answering your question from today. By getting specific and putting boundaries and limitations on your question, it allows the universe and your guides and your angels and whatever you believe in, it allows that energy to give you a more direct answer. So here's an example. Universe. If I'm trying to like use your example, but also get a question answered for myself. If there is a new healing strategy that will benefit me and my highest and greatest good, please show me a clear sign and symbol that I will not mistake within the next 24 hours. Thank you. Then keep your eyes open for 24 hours. So the key is to ask for something extremely specific. So sometimes if you want like a yes or no question answered, I'll ask, like, if it's a yes, show me a red feather. If it's a no, show me a purple feather. And sometimes I'll choose these like random objects and the universe shows it to me in a strange way. Like a red feather doesn't have to mean a feather from a bird. Someone can have a red feather on their t-shirt. You can be walking in the grocery store and see a red feather on a bottle of juice or something, you know? Lost my train of thought. So either get really specific with a yes or no, or if it is something like if there's a new healing modality that is aligned with my highest and greatest good, show me in a way that I will not mistake it. And then giving the universe a timeline. I always do 24 hours. Sometimes if you're asking for something major, you can ask for 48 hours, but putting a timeline on it. And then your job over the next 24 hours is to be extremely observant. Extremely observant. So, I hope that helps. Chronic fatigue syndrome. That sounds terrible. I don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing at myself because I've been very tired for a long time, so I'm just imagining if I had chronic fatigue, that does not sound fun at all. So maybe asking the universe, like, please show me what will give me energy, what will give me some vitality back in my life in a way that I will not mistake it. And see. Bye, Bonnie. Nice to see you. Jackie, Brenda, there's this amazing free app that gives you tons of info on crystals. You can even select the ones to make a collection on the app. It's called A Guide to Crystals, the Citrine Circle. Thank you for sharing, Jackie. Sandy, it's not amethyst. It is. I had to look it up. I have a picture on my phone. It's called Charorite. 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 Helps ground our spiritual selves back into reality by encouraging a path of service to fellow humans. That's right. That's why I use it here on Insight Timer. Aids in opening and balancing the crown chakra and brings insights from past lives to address our current karma. So this is what I use all of the time I am giving any kind of spiritual advice or let's see what else. Mandy's installing the app. Beautiful. Opal, yes, I have hens. So we thought we had 8 hens because we have 2 babies, and I think one of them is a rooster, so he'll have to go live somewhere else. We're not allowed to have roosters here, which is always sad, but Kara, you're welcome. Doug, I asked in meditation for the universe to use animals as messages, and I have been having so many close animal encounters lately. I love it. See, that's a perfect example, Doug, of how to ask the universe for questions. Ask the universe for answers. And even that is a practice in itself. You can learn something and you know, like, all right, cool, I'm supposed to ask the universe for advice, ask the universe for signs, but it's a practice. If you don't do it, you're not going to get the benefits from it. And it's one of those things. When I was reading that book, E Squared, it was so easy because there's like experiments built into the book that help to prove that your thoughts create reality. It's a great book if you guys want to buy it. I think I found it on the internet for like $5, so I highly recommend it. But yeah, at the time I was reading this book, so it was like, all right, I got to do this experiment, got to do this one. And then I finished the book and I was doing it for like a month, and then I just completely forgot about it, you know? But then, you know, things come back in your life when they're supposed to, right? Everything happens for a reason. You're always in the right place at the right time. So when you feel like asking, definitely ask. And when it comes to like animals coming into your life, I always do things by threes. So if I see an animal 3 times, that's when I'm like, all right, the universe wants me to look into this. Or if something just like really, really calls to you, you can look up like metaphysical meaning of this animal or spiritual meaning of this animal and see what resonates with you. Opal. I have Sun, Moon, and 5 planets between Scorpio and Sagittarius in my natal chart. What does this mean? Oh, I forgot what the name, there's chart types. That might be called a bundle. But essentially what that means is you just have a lot of energy concentrated in those 2 signs. So, there's, in astrology, there's this, I don't even know how to describe it. There's a pattern called a stellium. So a stellium occurs when you have 3 or more planets either within the same sign or within the same house. And the stellium just gives, like I said earlier, just like a whole bunch of energy in that one concentrated place. So the way that I look at stelliums, or like having 5 planets all within 2 signs, it's like the universe in this incarnation wants you to focus on those themes in your life. I'd be able to offer a little bit more information if I knew which houses those fell in, but Scorpio is the planet of death, transformation, going deep. It's also like the very sexual planet, but just like going deep, getting intense, getting intimate, never surface level. Scorpio is always way deep below the surface. And Sagittarius is the explorer. The explorer, the philosopher, exploring either physical places or exploring your own mental, your spirituality. Houses 1 and 2, wow. So if Scorpio is in house 1, the universe wants you to dig deep into yourself, like dig in there, figure out who you are in this lifetime. Second house has to do with finances. So second house ruled by Sagittarius, that would lead me to find your finances in far off ways, right? Sagittarius doesn't really take anything too seriously either, so I feel like the universe is trying to teach you to have like a playful relationship with money, but the second house also has to do with your skills and your material beings, or material items, I guess. I hope that answers a little bit, but yeah, I do astrology chart readings, so if you'd like to do a whole chart analysis, you can find my website on my Insight Timer bio. You can contact me there. You're welcome, Opal. Let's see what else is going on. Jacqui, the book is E Squared by Pam Grout. Lindsay's gonna check out the book. It's one of the life-changing books that I read. It affirmed everything that I was learning at the time about Reiki and energy and all that stuff. It's crazy. Brenda, I'm a Scorpio and also have 5 planets in Scorpio. That's crazy. I wonder if you guys were born around the same time. Christine, hi. Could you repeat where you find info on spirit animals? I have one that comes and I'm not sure what it is. So, I have a love-hate relationship with the internet. It is such an amazing tool, but it has been corrupted in a lot of ways. But you can literally just Google or internet search spiritual meaning of a peacock, whatever animal it is, metaphysical meaning of a peacock. And there's going to be multiple sources that are giving you information about the animal. So you can turn to the internet to look up spirit animal information. If you have a local shaman, if you know someone who practices shamanic stuff, they know so much about animals. I would turn to someone like that. Or just tuning into your own intuition and thinking about the qualities of that animal, thinking about how that animal interacts in the world. Think about like themes that are prevalent in your life right now and how that animal might act in a similar situation. So like if you're having stuff come up with like your children or your family, looking at, well, is it a wolf that keeps coming up? Is it the pack mentality that I should be thinking about? Or is it, I can't think of any animals that are loners right now, but is it like an animal that's telling you to be on your own? So just kind of feel into the actions of that animal and see if the universe might be trying to communicate through them. One of those, Jackie, yes, that's Shadow. She's very loud. Oh, this is not Shadow. This is Poopy, but she was hanging out, so she can come say hi. While I look back on your comments. So her name is Poopy because when we got her, she had a condition called poopy butt. She had some what's it called? Excrement issues. So her name gets to be Poopy. But she's very sweet. Brenda, okay, maybe 4. Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter, all in the 5th house. Wow, yeah, lots of creative energy there. And if the sun is ever near your planets, the sun just kind of like adds light and adds vitality to the themes of those other planets. Let's see what else. Opal, thank you, Jackie. You're welcome. Brenda, oh, I have that book on my Kindle. Thanks for sharing. Oh, and there's 2 Brendas in here. Thanks for clarifying. Doug, Animal Speak by Ted Andrews is a good book on animal spirituality. Thank you for the recommendation, Doug. Animal Speak, everyone. Christine, I thank you. I meant I'm not sure exactly what this animal is. Looks like a mountain goat with long white fur. Have you Googled that? A mountain goat with long white fur? Just to see what comes up? Very interesting. Is this coming up like in meditations or in real life? Your hen must enjoy our energy. She does. I think she just wants food. It's funny. So we have 3 dogs in our house, and anytime we sit down to eat, only one of them is always right there. And we call our chickens our outside dogs, because every time I come out the back door, they just run up to me like they know I have treats, even when I don't. And we were eating dinner outside yesterday, and all of them were just sitting around the table waiting for us to drop something. Jennifer, I absolutely love you sitting there with a chicken. Why not? They're like pets. Christine, no, but I will. It came up in meditation. It happened in one of your sessions. So this could also be, I don't know. It could be something like otherworldly. It could be like your guides just communicating with you in a certain way. Don't even. What was your feeling when it first came up? Like, what did you think? What was your first interpretation of it? Okay. say goodbye. She wants to go. Here on Insight Timer, if you're not one of my regulars, I do oracle readings, usually around the time of celestial events. So next week, I haven't scheduled them yet, but I will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I can't remember off the top of my head what astrological stuff each one is, but they're always at 8:15 Central Time for now. For now, we'll see when my work schedule changes. But actually, let's talk about some astrology right now. So yesterday, we had a new moon in Leo. Let me see what Christine says. It reminds me of an animal I saw in Canada. I thought, what is that? I wanted to hug and kiss it. It's very living. Interesting. I would look into, if you know what the animal was that you saw in Canada, maybe look into that. So the reason I keep talking about like looking into stuff is because like when you search for answers, that allows your guides in the universe to like drop in one sentence that might like, oh, click, you know? You're welcome, Brenda. Oh, it was very loving. All good. You're being surrounded by love. So yesterday we had a new moon, 5 degrees of Leo. So new moons represent new beginnings, fresh starts, planting new seeds, and Leo is the king of the zodiac. Leo is fixed fire. So this new moon is a wonderful time to plant a new seed that is needing sustained passion, that is needing sustained vitality, because Leo, fixed fire, is very good at just having a sustained amount of energy. Likewise, yesterday, Jupiter stationed retrograde. So Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, growth, expansion, and when planets go retrograde, it appears that they're moving backwards, but they're not actually moving backwards. It's just an optical illusion type thing. But when planets are retrograde, it turns their energies inward. So I just thought it was so beautiful that we had this new moon, this fresh start, and this energy of growth and expansion is moving inwards. So what a better time to work on yourself, to expand your consciousness, to grow what it is that you desire, to manifest it into your life, right? Jupiter will be retrograde until the end of November. So this gives you about 4 months to dive into yourself and grow everything, just expand it in all directions, right? Over the weekend, we are having a very intense conjunction. I'm trying to think of the words I want to use to describe this. So 3 objects will be conjunct. The North Node that we were talking about earlier. The North Node is like the destiny. And when it's the transiting North Node, it's like the destiny of our entire community, society, like everyone, like the collective is the word I'm looking for. Collective destiny. It is conjunct with Uranus, which it has been for some time because Uranus is a very slow-moving planet. So Uranus and the North Node have been dancing with each other in the sky for some time. Uranus is the planet of unexpected change, like being yourself, freedom, individuality. And Uranus is also very, very weird, is the best way to put it, because stuff just comes out of nowhere, okay? This weekend, so the 31st and the 1st, so that's Sunday and Monday, Mars is going to join the party. And Mars is the planet of war. He is the war god. He brings energy, he brings passion, he brings just a fighter, warrior energy to everything. So I might imagine that some big things might happen on the world stage with all of these energies playing with each other. The way that humanity is going might take a sudden, unexpected turn. This has to do with Taurus rules the physical body, but Taurus also rules finances. So there might be some sort of economic thing that happens. There might be something with the food that happens. Taurus also rules our food supply. So yeah, just lots of cool energy going on. Mars will be coming into conjunction with Uranus and the North Node. So that's all happening in Taurus. Let me look. When does Mars actually enter Taurus? Or is Mars in Taurus now? Yeah, Mars entered Taurus on July 5th. So Mars has been in Taurus, but it is coming conjunct with the North Node and Uranus. Sunday and Monday. So in your own life, that might give you some extra energy so Mars extra energy to change Uranus, your path to enlightenment, the North Node. So I would just embrace the unexpected this weekend, anywhere, on the world stage, in your own life. That Uranus energy is beautiful. Oh, look at that, Brenda. 11:11 as I'm talking about this. Beautiful. What else is going on? Again, if you guys have more questions, feel free to let them pour in. I want to talk about this book really quick. This is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I talked about it briefly here on Insight Timer, but I am going to, in the near future, be putting together a book study around this book. I started reading it about a month ago and I finished it, but as I was reading it, I was just getting crazy downloads of ways to embody the lessons of this book into our lives. So I'm in progress. It's going to be like a virtual type book study, but Christine, I read it 3 times, my new Bible. I'm so excited. I'm going to have this all online. It's going to look like me reading sections of the book, or you can also read it on your own. Not necessarily chapters, but specific sections. We'll read the whole book together, but then time after time, I'll have some type of homework for you guys in order to embody the energies of the teachings of this book. So essentially, Eckhart Tolle is describing this new earth that is here among us, that is coming, just a world full of love and light and expanded consciousness. So the weather is too nice right now for me to be stuck inside my house with my microphone, so give it some time, but just know that book study is coming. Allison, gotta go. Looking for surprises. Thank you. You're welcome, Allison. I'll hopefully see you on Monday. RS, what about legal matters? Is this month or next month suitable? Let me take a look at my astrology calendar and see if anything jumps out. Libra is the sign of like legal matters and the judge and balance and fairness and all of that stuff. Libra, the sun will enter Libra in September. Sorry. Yes, at the end of September, the sun will enter Libra. But at the end of August, so August 25th is when Mercury enters Libra. Mercury is the sign of communication, manifesting with your thoughts. So I would wait for some Libra energy with legal stuff. Let me look at what else is going on. I mean, we're pretty much at the end of July. Let's see, August. I might wait until September, if possible. So in August also, Mars enters Gemini. Mars is the planet of war, where your energy and vitality comes from, and it's entering Gemini, the sign of the twins. So, I don't know, that might play in your favor. I would think that Mars would flip some things, right? So it might look like it's going one way, and then Gemini is known for just going the complete opposite way out of nowhere. But we'll see. We'll see. Libra energy is always very good for legal matters. Well, what do you say, guys? Should we pull a card and then call it a day? Unless you guys have more questions, please feel free to put them in there. Oh, especially for divorce. All of these planetary aspects and everything that's going on also, it plays off of your own natal chart and the natal chart of the people involved in the divorce. So it's hard to give you a complete answer for this. And I don't have September's astrology pulled up, but I would at least wait until after August 25th, if you can, when Mercury moves into Libra. All right, we're going to pull today from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle. So I'll just pull a culminating message for everyone who is here. Thank you guys for joining me throughout this question and answer session. It has been fun spending some time with you. It always is. Feel free to send your energy into this deck. Okay. Ask your guides whatever questions you have, whatever answers you're searching for, any areas of your life where you might be looking for guidance. Just tuning into all that right now. As I pull a card serving the highest and greatest good for everyone who is listening. If you have enjoyed our session today, feel free to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation if you're able. If you haven't followed me on Insight Timer just yet, feel free to give me a follow. If you'd like to work one-on-one with me for readings, for healing, for anything that I offer, you can find my personal website on my Insight Timer bio. And this is great timing. We're wrapping up and my neighbor is having construction people come over, so we're finishing up right before it gets noisy. Jacqui, thank you kindly for your donation. It's very much appreciated. Oops. I hope you guys enjoyed the visions of my chickens. Here's one over here to my right. That's Philly. She was munching on my toes yesterday. It hurts. Let me tell you, man. I had my shoes off and she was pecking away at my second toes, like grabbing and pulling them. I guess they looked like food. Beautiful. Aw. Alright, let me get the message pulled up. But today, our guides have brought us to the halls of learning. Spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. The halls of learning, sometimes also known as the Great Halls, are an etheric retreat dedicated to spiritual knowledge. They are a training space for all souls, including those on Earth, spiritual guides, and those between lives. They have been visited by many spiritual seekers, seers, and mediums over the years, and have been described as a giant, somewhat Gothic university building with marble flooring, spiral staircases, and tall bookcases. Some have said these halls are home to the Akashic Records, while others have wondered if they are connected to the halls of Amenti. I can confirm that these are actually two different retreats. Ultimately, this etheric retreat is an ancient mystery school, and it is particularly powerful for those who are opening up their psychic and clairvoyant abilities, just like all of us. If this gateway comes to you often, it brings confirmation that your psychic gifts are strengthening. Also, if the idea of an ancient mystery school is in the astral realm seems familiar, there's a good chance you've been here during dream time or between incarnations. These great halls are held within the heart of Source and are a projection of the divine mind's infinite intelligence. When we visit them, we are connecting directly with the wisdom of Source. You are on a path to great learning. Spiritual beings are drawing close to support you. If you are facing challenging or difficult circumstances, or have just moved through such a time, you are being called to review what you have learned about yourself. Jupiter retrograde. If you're still feeling overwhelmed by a certain event or asking why it happened, call on Source and your guides to reveal to you the pattern, trauma, or wound that has contributed to this challenge. If you aren't experiencing challenging energy, the reason is that you've made huge progress on your spiritual journey, so much that your perspective has shifted so that you can view every challenge as a window of opportunity. The Halls of Learning Gateway indicates that your spiritual gifts are developing at this time. Perhaps, I know some of you guys read Akashic Records, some of you guys have been diving into them, but I recommend, if you have the time today, hopping on Insight Timer and looking for an Akashic Record meditation. And see if you can hop into the records and ask why, right? Why? Doug, I would love to visit the Akashic Halls. I hope each of us can receive this gift. Doug, you can. You can. We all can. Sandy, that resonated beautiful. Love it. Yes, there's plenty of Akashic Record meditations on Insight Timer. And all of us have these gifts. It's honestly just like getting out of our own way to get there. So I promise you, if you find a meditation here and you allow the author to lead you into the Akashic Records, just allow whatever happens to happen. Don't expect anything. Not everybody has a strong clairvoyance, right? Some people will see these flashing images and these beautiful pictures. I don't see that, and that's okay. I have different senses. I focus mostly on claircognizance, where I just know. And sometimes that knowing will give me images, but it's not in a visual image. I can't explain it. I literally go to a different place when I meditate. But just allow whatever happens. Like, you can receive messages clairaudiently, so by hearing them, you can smell things that lead you to a certain place. You can taste things, right? Like, you can feel things. All of us have these abilities. All of us do. So don't ever doubt that in yourself. Joy, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, Jacqui. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me and giving me people to talk to about this knowledge. I could talk about this stuff all day. I just love being your little spiritual problem solver. That came up in I had a human design reading last week, and it flew out of the lady's mouth. You're like a spiritual problem solver, and that resonated with me, so I feel like that has to do with where I'm going with all this stuff. But Christine, thank you. Very welcome. Thank you for being here. I am going to wrap things up. Thank you kindly for your donation, Christine. Very much appreciated. I will be back next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at 8:15 Central Time, so the same time that this started today. It's a pleasure spending time with all of you, and I hope to see you very soon. Joy, love, and light to all. The light in me truly honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Lindsay, thank you. Enjoy your beautiful weekend. Enjoy the Uranus North Node Mars conjunction. Eric just arriving from Seattle. Oh no, we're just about to finish up. But thank you for joining. Actually, I will be posting this on YouTube. I record all my sessions and I put them on YouTube. I'm excited to see the sunlight briefly. Oh, there's a typo. So my YouTube channel is Lakeside Living. It's the name of my business. So if you guys want to watch all of my replays, they're available there. I think there's a few channels called Lakeside Living, but mine has a little purple sunset. Emily, how to help period cramps? Thank you for asking that question, because they suck. the less spiritual example is movement, right? Like if you sit on the couch and deal with them, it sucks. But if you take a slow walk, it helps. This has come from my history as a PE teacher, a middle school PE teacher nonetheless. I would never let my girls sit out because of their natural cycles. So, like, walking helps, but also doing. There are like womb meditations here on Insight Timer, like loving your womb, um, connecting to your reproductive organs, right? Like, I feel like a lot of these period cramps come from some sort of shame and guilt that we hold that might not be a personal trauma, like that could be a collective energy that we are experiencing. So feel free to look around Insight Timer for womb, like connecting with your womb type stuff, and see if that might alleviate. And you can also just release anything that sucks into Mother Earth. Putting your feet, putting your skin on Mother Earth, asking her to take it. That's her job. That's her effortless job. Doug, thank you for sharing your amazing energy today. Likewise to everyone who is here. So thank you, thank you. Thank you, Christian. Beautiful to see you. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now.